Criticism of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India is remarkable for many outstanding features which will distinguish it from the Constitution, even though there were members in the Constitution Assembly who criticized the Constitution, which was going to be adopted as a slavish imitation of the West or not suited to the genius of the people. Another assembly member charged that this constitution will not prove suitable and will break down soon after being brought or into operation. The main criticism levied against the constitution are following. First, elephantic size of the constitution. The constitution of India is being criticized on the ground that it is the most lengthy and detailed constitutional document the world has so far produced. In the world of the Ivor Gene, the provision borrowed were not always well selected, and that the constitution, generally speaking, was too long and complicated. Second copy, the carbon copy of Act of 1935, the Constitution of India is called the as a carbon copy of Act of 1935. The father of the Constitution have borrowed a large number of the provision from the Act of 1935 and made them part of the new Constitution, making a specific reference to the aspect of the Constitution. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee, said the Constitution Assembly as to the accusation that the draft Constitution has reproduced a good part of the provision of the Government of the Indian Act 1935. I make no apologize. There is nothing to be assumed in borrowing. It involved the no privilege. Nobody held any patient right in the fundamental idea of the Constitution. What I am sorry about is that the provision taken from the Government of India Act 1935 relatively mostly of the to the detail of administration. Third, paradise of the lawyer. On the frequent criticism of the constitution was that it was a lawyer's paradise. Making a general comments on the constitution, a member said that the draft tend to make people more litigious, more inclined to the go to the law court. If I may say, on the draft is really lawyer's paradise. It opened up to the vast avenues of litigations and will give our able and indigenous lawyer plenty of work to do. It is true that the constitution is a complex document. Language in which it was drafted is that the which is familiar only in the court of law. A striking feature of the constitution in the context is the numerous exception, qualified and explanation that one find along with the most every provision. Only an experienced lawyer, well versed in constitution law, can understand the implications of the legal language in which the most of the provisions are couched. Fourth, on Gandhian constitution. The constitution has criticized by a small but vocal sections on the ground that it is a un-Gandhian. The constitution did not embody the principle of for which Mahatma Gandhi stood, or the ideology of the Indian National Congress. Other thought that it should not have been raised and built upon the village panchayat and district panchayats. Fifth, a borrowed constitution. It is said that the Indian constitution is a bag of borrowings, or is a more paper or scissors work. Parliamentary forms of government is borrowed from the British Constitution, while federalism and judicial review is borrowed from the U.S. Constitution. However, credit of it from framers lies in gathering the best features of each of the existing constitution and in modifying them with a view of avoiding the faults that they have disclosed in their working, and to adapting them to the exacting conditions and need of the country. So if it is a patchwork, it is a beautiful patchwork. Sixth, the center has been made too strong according to the some criticize critics the center has been made too strong. There is too much centralized, and the state has been reduced to municipalities. Seven un-Indian. The new constitution is called as un-Indian or anti-Indian. That no part of the constitution represent the ancient polity of India. Its genius and the spirit of it hollow and glorious tradition. We want the music of Veena and Sitar lamented and assembly members, but here we have the music of English bands. The ideal on which this constitution is framed have no magnificent relation of the fundamental spirit of the India charged another member of the Constitution Assembly. Effectiveness of the Indian Constitution framework. The institution of the government, established by the constitution of the framework of the British Raj, has taken root in the Indian soil. Although transparent, they are today no longer regarded as sovereign imports. They have gained legitimacy and widespread acceptance by political parties across the ideology spectrum. Their meaning and operations have been adapted to the Indian environment, and they are still taking shape. The judiciary, developed under the British tutelage, it is at the highest level of the presidency, command national respect as a symbol of the state parliament, particularly since the death of the Nehru has assumed greater importance. Also, its debates really affect the charter character of the legislation. They are closely covered in India's press, and the Prime Minister and the Cabinet are increasingly sensitive to the Parliament's opinion. The Prime Minister, however, commands a powerful position. The charisma of Nehru Prime Minister in the nation's formative years. This has become identified with the office of itself. It is a symbolic repository of India's power and international prestige. However, Professor V. R. Mehta observed in the last 14 years there has been democracy operating on the parliamentary form of government and independent judiciary, fundamental right, and a federal structure, and yet the system is becoming increasingly subservient to those who control land and capital. The single party dominance has now been turned into single person dominance without the necessary institutional basis. While on the one hand, this was a result in the reduction of the actual role of representative institution in the decision making process. On the other hand, the ideal of a decentralization of the power enshrined in the constitution is being discarded by power that be, and the process of more and more centralization seem to set in. Indeed, it has led to the development of extra-constitutional authorities at government level, as well as increasing resort to extra-constitutional method of the conflict resolution by the people. Atul Kohli observed a crisis of governability is growing in India. Indian government that have been elected with a large majority has repeatedly failed to translate popular support into effective policies, and the role of violence in politics has been growing steadily. The result of 1996, 1998, 1999, 2004, and 2009 national election has been raised doubt about the whether India can continue to maintain a stable majority government. The question is often asked whether it is a constitution that has been failed to the people, or whether it is the our chosen representative who have failed on the constitution. According Paliwal. N.A. Paliwal, my firm conviction is that our constitution is originally drafted is excellent, and that is not the constitution which has failed the people, but it our chosen representatives who can fail the constitution. The spirit of the constitution has been constantly violated years after year. Dr. Ambedkar was very rightly observed in the Constitution Assembly. However good a constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad, because those who are called to work it happens to be bad lot. However bad a constitution may be, it may turn out to be good if those who are called to work it happen. to be a good lot. The working of the constitution does not depend wholly upon the nature of the constitution. The Congress can provide only the organs of the state, such as legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The factor on which the working of these organs of the state depend are the people and the political parties they will set up as their instrument to carry out their wishes and their policies. Who can say how the people of India and their parties will behave? Paul R. Brass has rightly observed, indeed, the Indian political regime is one of the most democratic in the world by most conventional measure of the political participation, electoral and party commission competition, and the persistence of parliamentary institution. It is also among the least repressive regimes in the world. There is a free pass, and ordinary people are free to speak their mind in the public, private, and the dismantling of state directed economic planning. Is itself a major step in direction of the decentralization, which is bound to have decentralization political consequences. I hope you understand the chapter.